So in the last couple of sessions, I discussed the story of Mariana and how she multiplied her productivity output through her newly gained Ubermom superpowers. Whether or not you are also an Ubermom, I want to be sure that you are fully ready to battle and conquer the productivity disease that is Parkinson's Law. Hey, we all suffer from Parkinson's Law. It's part of the human condition. Without applied pressure, we will always drift down the stream of the least resistance or the path of ease. To access our greater capability, you have to push it out of yourself. You actually have to purposely apply pressure and stress on yourself to activate your superhuman abilities. The first thing to understand is that pressure and stress are your friends and your high-performance allies. This is something that low achievers don't understand. Stress is a stimulus for growth, for development, and for progress. Great performers welcome it. They want it. Actually, they thrive on it. They know that pressure occurs when meaningful accomplishment is possible. Look, humans are not designed to cope with stress, but to thrive on it. It's the psychological stimulant that fuels our daily performances to great heights. The human body performs at higher levels when stimulated by pressure and stress. Stress and pressure is the doorway to greater success. And then on the opposite side, the absence of stress or feeling pressure is a sure sign of boredom, lack of interest, and importance in what it is that you're doing. The only time that high performers are worried is when their heart isn't racing. As what one of the most feared pitchers spanning over 4 decades in the history of Major League Baseball, Nolan Ryan, would say, "The day that I am not nervous stepping onto that mound, that's the day I quit." Bill Russell is widely considered one of the best players in NBA history. A 5-time NBA Most Valuable Player, 12-time All-Star, Russell was the centerpiece of the Celtics dynasty, winning 11 NBA championships during his 13-year career. Russell holds the record for the most championships won by an athlete in a North American sports league of any kind. Bill was notorious for throwing up before every game. But after the Celtics won their 7th straight championship, and before a game in the late 1963-1964 season, Bill didn't throw up before the game. And he had the worst game of his career. And he and the Celtics began to spiral in losses. He didn't know what was wrong. But when Bill pulled up to the arena before Game 1 of the playoffs, he saw an excited and eager line of fans lining the arena waiting to get in. That is when the pressure set in on Bill. He rushed into the arena, blowing past all of his teammates, straight to the locker room, bathroom stall, and he puked. And then he burst out of the stall, came into the dressing room, shouting to his teammates, "Guys, we're gonna win!" Bill right then and there made the connection between pressure and winning. They did win that game, and they went on to win their 8th straight championship. Look, stress is different than distress. Pressure is different than anxiety. And nervousness is different than worry. But unless you learn to love pressure and perceive stress as an advantage, you are unlikely to join the ranks of high performers. Use pressure and stress to draw out your greater performance and potential. Thus, unless you're on the 18th green of the Masters every day, or up to bat with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 9th at the World Series, or in the final drive to the end zone with the Lombardi Trophy on the line, you are likely to need to create or force pressure on yourself to activate your stress response superpowers. You do this by creating what we call Genesis deadlines, which is how Connie referred to them. Connie's the 94-year-old multi-billionaire who taught me the Sunday planning system that I now use to run my business and run my life. Connie said this to me: "Look, God created heaven and earth in 6 days, I think, to set an example. He was showing us all what could be achieved in only a week. If he created all of creation in 6 days, what should we expect of ourselves? I think a lot more. Connie went on to say, that is why I always set unreasonable deadlines. Every forecast, pro forma, and projection timeline that I am sent, I cut the deadline in half, often by 3/4. I tell my staff that we're going to move heaven and earth to get it done. This pressure requires us to focus even more, to step up, to grow, to be better than we've ever been. And guess what? By some miracle, we always do. It's quite incredible, he said. But we wouldn't have if we hadn't shortened the deadline of a goal. That's how Connie stamps out the Parkinson's Law in himself and inside his companies. Connie went on to explain, if God had given himself 1 billion years to create all of heaven and earth, it probably would have taken that long. But he only gave himself a week, and that's how long it took. We too have that kind of creative power, but we don't apply enough pressure on our talents and creative power to realize it. If you haven't heard the full story of Connie and how the Sunday planning system works, I highly recommend that you check it out. I'll make sure that there's a link below today's session. It's a free tutorial, a gift from me to you. So, how do you use pressure for positive outcomes in your own life? I want you to share that with us in the comments below. Am I boring you? Big yawn. Okay. You're kind of like Mr. Rogers. Taking off your sweater, putting on your sweater. Do you guys even know who Mr. Rogers is?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, 2 out of 3 is pretty good.
I'm just giving you more of a that's a pretty one.
Thanks.